Hi there, I'm Shanna Warner.
I'm Mark Warner.
We're the publishers of Natural Awakenings magazine in Oklahoma, and you have joined us on the Mind, Body, Spirit podcast and vidcast for Natural Awakenings. So today we're talking with Wilhelmina McKittrick. Wilhelmina is one of the presenters and one of the speakers at a conference that's coming up next Saturday in New Walla, Oklahoma, which is outside of Oklahoma City. The conference is called Entheogens and Spirituality. And we've been talking a lot with Tiffany Stewart and Leticia Pisano, who are sort of the people who put the conference together, about plant medicines and how plant medicines can help with transformation. So Wilhelmina is going to be speaking at the conference. Before we get started with Wilhelmina, I wanted to show everybody in the Natural Awakenings magazine that's out right now. This is the men's edition. There is an advertisement on page 17. It's got information about the conference, and it's got a little QR code that you can click to get more information. So you can check that out in the magazine, and you can check that out on the website. There are 8 speakers lined up, and our guest today is one of those speakers. Wilhelmina, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So let's talk a little bit. You are talking about humanity's big awakening and spirituality. That's sort of your topic for the conference. So let's just jump right into that and tell us how you met Leticia or Tiffany, what's your connection with those ladies, and how you got involved in the conference itself.
Okay, well, Leticia I met at one of the spirit fairs for the first time. And I had a booth there as well because I do many different things and I sell a lot of my art as well there. I was just, she had a table right in front of me, and I was just sitting there doing my thing, and I looked at her and it was like, yeah, I know you.
Oh.
So, but I didn't do anything with that because I'm always pretty much to myself, and but my guidance was keep on telling me, you have to get in contact with her. So at a certain point, I called her, and I was actually at Radiant Living, and I called her. I said, yeah, maybe we can meet here and maybe do a live Facebook thing. I've never done Facebook Live, but I feel like we need to do something. Let's come together and do whatever needs to be flowing through us, because that's how I work, and not planned with spiritual things. Anyways, so that's how we got together, and everything was very normal and natural because, we go way, way back in different lifetimes. I know for sure. So that's how I met her. Tiffany, I don't know her that well. I've met her a few times, but never really have that much conversation with her. So I cannot really tell you much that's of interest. But plant medicine, that's something that they both are working with. And I personally have never ever used it. I'm the oddball in the group, like always. But not in this lifetime. So for me, the way I work, and there are several live recordings out there in which Leticia is sharing about her experiences with me in my multidimensional activation sessions. The way I work is similar to how plant medicine works. It's only, more or less guiding you through the shift in your mind, so you can open up the doors that access you to the connection of all that is. So it's pretty fake if you have never felt that before, but if you understand what I'm talking about, it's clear. But why am I at that conference? So Disha asked me if I wanted to join and share my part, because of what I kind of shared already before. It's all linked, plant medicine is a tool, to help you shift your consciousness, to help you more or less peel the layers, that you have outgrown. And my work, I work as a hypnotherapist, a life coach, business coach. I do many, many different things, and I wear many, many different hats. But as a hypnotherapist, I do a lot of sessions with people, past life regressions or just current life regressions that help people get in touch with themselves on a different level, so they can understand why certain occasions or certain experiences are keep coming on your path. You know, the conditionings that you have gathered, why you have gathered those conditionings. It's all about, you know, understanding your life path and your choices and your intention, you know, of what lies ahead. So if I talk too much, just break through it because
That's okay. That's really interesting. You know, you're talking about that entheogens have not been a part of something that you use now, but they are tools, and that's what the conference is about. They are tools to help people, you know, in a spiritual transformative growth. That's what
right.
you do.
Mhm.
And entheogens can be a tool that some people may want to use. You know, we
Right.
were speaking a little while ago with one of the other presenters who was talking about helping people figure out, is this for me? And that's part of what you'll be doing too. It's like, is
Yeah.
this for me or is it not? Is this path?
Right. Yes. So for me, it's like I've never used it, but I'm not against it. I'm not against anything. Anybody needs to make their own opinion or own decisions.
Hmm?
But I always connect with my higher self, and my higher self always tells me no. I keep asking, but the answer is always no, because I think it's an adventure, you know, to try things out. But they say it's not needed. So I just have to, I guess, focus on a different path to show whoever comes my way that's resonating with my energy, to share them different ways of getting through the unpeeling of the old and recovering or rediscovering truly their truth in the here and now.
Oh, I love that. You know, that's something too. When we talk about transformation,
Mhm.
you know, you're looking. Okay, so let me see if I've got this right. So the image that you're presenting is like the peeling away of layers.
Mhm.
So that transformation can also be looked at as removing the things that are holding you back to get to
Right.
that core, you know, your spirituality, and that the plant medicines can help do that. There are other paths too, like, you know, meditation, and that's
Right.
a huge part of my life too. So what other things do you do when you're looking at peeling away those layers? What other things do you use as tools?
Personally for myself,
Oh,
or
well, sure. Yeah, let's
my
hear from
work.
you too. Yeah.
Well, um, so there's so much information that I can share that this becomes like I have to start and do one thing at a time. But the core um, focus of my lessons and of my teachings and of my practice is truly to help people get a deeper self-awareness. And when I talk about self-awareness, I don't talk about, you know, what you do for work or what your hobbies are. It's truly the core of yourself. You know,
Mm.
why are certain choices made? Why are certain people coming on your path? Because, you know, it's never about what other people do to you. It's about you allow, and why are you allowing it on a certain level, and are you truthful enough to allow yourself to be truthful, to look and see, you
Mhm.
know, the core truth of that.
Yeah.
So everything that I do, you know, I do so many different things, but all have the focus and the intention to um, rediscover your truth. It's also one of my books, you know, self-awareness, rediscovering your book, your truth. That's truly what my focus is on. And hypnotherapy helps a lot with that, because that's a way of canceling out your conscious self that is always trying to limit you to go deeper out of fear or whatever conditioning you have allowed in. But that's kind of like uh, more or less put on the sideline when you do hypnotherapy. And the hypnotist, like me, I connect with your subconscious self that holds the truth. And you are more or less um, going on a journey. And it's not something that I create, it's truly created by the client. You
Mhm.
know, they go on this journey where their higher self is leading them to find answers. And I'm guiding them through certain things. And I ask the questions that need to be asked. And the plus that I have is that I also connect with beyond, and I can hear and I can tune in and I have visions. So that I add to the therapy, so it speeds things up, and I love to speed things up.
That's
So
interesting because you're talking about the hypnotherapy. No, you're helping someone access their own healing and,
mhm.
and providing their own healing. And
Oh, yeah,
I mean, that just, I can see why Leticia wanted you there, because that totally ties in to
yeah.
the tool of entheogens, because
Mhm.
that may be something for someone and it may not.
And you can combine things as well, you
Yeah.
know. And yes, it's very important for people to understand that they all have their own answers, you know. They all have their own personal tools as well. We're all connected to the universal healing energy, the universal knowledge. You know, we don't need anything, but our conditioning blocks things, and that's why, you know, you have to peel those conditionings off so you can be pure and aware and connected again with all that is.
And
And
find the path that works for each person, because they're different.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all good, you know. And that's the thing. I always tell people, don't compare yourself. You know, just work on embracing your own personal best. You know, I even did that when I worked as a soccer coach for my daughter's team. You know, I told the girls, you know, don't compare. You know, do your own personal best, and it worked perfectly. You know, it was an amazing thing to see those young kids grow and start believing in themselves and putting their own strength forward instead of measuring towards other people. You know.
Yeah, not competing with someone beside you or on your team.
Exactly.
Maybe not even competing with yourself, but finding your
Yeah,
personal best,
What you
exactly.
not,
Finding your tribe.
yeah,
Yeah,
not compared to someone else. So I
right.
know that this is the first conference that Leticia and Tiffany, two pillars in the Native American Church, have started. I think there's going to be many, many more. I certainly hope so. And I'm looking forward to hearing, all the speakers. There are 8,
Yeah,
forward. Do you, I'm trying to remember. Let's see. The conference starts, I think, at
8 a.m.
9 that morning.
8 a.m. Yeah,
It starts at 8. Okay. And I know
yeah.
that there are going to be some vegan vendors out there too. There's going to be food trucks, and
Yeah.
it is,
And yeah,
yeah, and it's all about education.
yes.
Um, so, um, right. So it's all
8 to
about
8.
8 a.m. to 8 p.m. out in Nuala, and that, people can come onto the Natural Awakenings website, naoklahoma.com. And in you can find all the information about the conference that's coming up Saturday in Nuala. And you can find out more about the speakers, find out about what they're going to be talking about and what they're going to be doing. And I hope that, everybody will join us out there for that. We're looking forward to it. Can't wait to see you again, Wilhelmina, because it's been a while.
Yes, yes.
We'll see you again. But before we jump off of here, let's let people know, again, you had mentioned about your website. How can people get in touch with you if they're
Okay,
looking at hypnotherapy or something?
right. So I have several websites. As I told you, I have several hats. So, but when you go to www.newlifeaw.com, then you go to my hypnotherapy site and life coaching site. If you go to wilhelminacreations.com, you can find my online store more or less. I have I have like wands, um, jewelry, and paintings that I create, and prints and all sorts of stuff to explore. And my first website actually that I've opened up or created in 2003, like 100 years ago. I don't do much on it, but there's information on it. It's called Xsist.org, xsist.org. I used to do radio shows, and there are some links of my radio shows on there. And there's also a link to my YouTube channel on there. It's just Wilhelmina McKittrick, my full name. On my YouTube channel, you have several guided meditation and information that can be helpful and free to use.
Wonderful.
And yeah, so that's kind of like a little bit of information about myself.
And then Saturday, people can come out to the conference and meet you in person,
Yes,
to
yes.
you, talk about their spiritual journey, whether entheogens or hypnotherapy or, spirit artwork or whatever is their
Right.
path, that you can help them, find the path too. So
Yes, but I will. Yeah.
Enlightening.
Sorry.
It's going to be very enlightening.
It's going to be, very natural, I feel. I mean, it's going to be very interesting, and a lot of people will be there and finally taking a breath like, oh, I can express how I felt. I can find like minds that can share experiences with me. And just have fun together, connect and have social contacts. It's also good after,
yeah.
COVID.
Yeah, after the last year, we all need to come together in something nice, natural, educational, and fun. So I'm looking forward to it.
Mhm.
Wilhelmina, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having
being
me.
here on this podcast and our vidcast. We appreciate it a lot. Looking forward to seeing you next Saturday. Mark, thank you for
Yep.
being here too. You're
Thank
not
you.
usually here with me. I'm Shanna Warner with Natural Awakenings Magazine in Oklahoma, and this is the Mind, Body, Spirit podcast and vidcast. And we'll see you again next time. See you next week, Wilhelmina. We'll see you on Saturday.
Bye. See you next week. Take care.